Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing part 4 of my X-Carve build. First we start off with attaching the left side plate. We're attaching the side plate to the gantry rail. In this video I've made 2 mistakes, and I'll try to point them out as I go along. The first mistake that I made that I took out while editing the video and moving the video clips around was, in the instructions you're supposed to attach just the left side and then put the carriage onto the gantry rail. I went ahead and put the left and right side on. That is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just put the one side on first, slide a couple of nuts in, and then slide the carriage onto the gantry rail. And I got ahead of the process a little bit. Here you slide the couple nuts in, put the carriage onto the gantry. And I apologize if I call one of these the wrong name. There's a lot of pieces to this, and trying to figure out what's what is it's kind of overwhelming. But as you assemble it and you read the instructions, it makes it a little bit more clear. So on this carriage, there's a couple nuts that you can, nuts or washers that you can adjust, and they're offset a little bit, and you can turn those slightly, and when you turn them, it adjusts where the V wheel is. So those are the adjustable V wheels on the bottom. Once you get those adjusted properly, then you can slide it in the rest of the way, and that just loosens and tightens how much the carriage slides onto the gantry. Something I found interesting on that part was on those nuts that you can adjust the there's a little dot on those spacers or on the nut, and on that spacer there's that little dot. If you put that on the bottom, or I'm pretty sure if it's on the bottom, that means it's all the way open. But you can orient all those nuts or spacers with that on the bottom, and that will help you to realize it's a little marking point for where it's at, whether it's tight or if it's loose. So it's kind of hard to tell if you just turn it if it's getting tighter or loosening. So that's just a little tip to figuring those out. The piece that I'm attaching here is for the drag rail. The drag rail supports are plastic and kind of flexible. I was surprised they were made of plastic, but the drag rail or drag train isn't that heavy, so I'm sure it won't cause too much strain on it. Here's my my second mistake. I had put these side rails on upside down. On the outside of the rail, there's what they refer to as like the flat part, and there's some tracks and things. So just make sure that you orient this rail properly after I had got to the end of this process, I had to backtrack and take some of this apart, not all of it, but just some of it, to reverse these rails around. So just make sure that on the outside there's a single slot, on the inside there's 2 slots in the rail. Make sure that slot is on the bottom. I had the slot on the top. A lot of this was in the instructions, but it's just one of those attention to details, and sometimes looking at stuff upside down, or can get turned around. So far, a lot of the mistakes I've made, it's pretty easy to go back and replace. So here, trying to slide the gantry onto the side rails, I actually had put this homing switch on the wrong side of the side plate, and it wouldn't slide on all the way. So I took it off, slid it on, and then I just replaced it on the other side, and that worked fine. So that was just a quick fix, but there's things like that you have to do sometimes. And again, I went back and looked at the instructions just to make sure that I had it on the right plate and make sure that I had it in the right spot. And I had it at the right spot. It was just on the opposite side of the plate that it should have been. So here I'm attaching the side rails. So these hex keys or Allen keys, or Allen wrench, whatever you want to call them, if you slide in the nuts into the rail, you can use the Allen key to adjust where they need to be at, and then just tighten them down. This part was pretty simple. So this piece here is one of the homing switch stoppers. So this keeps the gantry from going too far, and if the carriage slides, this is for the carriage on the gantry, if the carriage slides too far to the right, it'll hit that homing switch and it'll stop it, or it uses it to realign itself. Thanks for watching. Come back and I'll have part 5 up here soon. Thanks.